All right. Mr. Drew, would you like to come up and talk about the water cleanup at Bermite?
Oh, this is just the remedial action plan for the groundwater of Whitaker Bermite. It's 100 or 200 and some odd pages long. If you get a chance, you ought to thumb through it. Anyway, I'm also the chairman of the Whitaker Bermite Community Action or Advisory Group, and so anyway, we've been very involved with the Whitaker Bermite property. Of course, everybody knows where that's at, I would hope. They just released the remedial action plan for Opero Unit 7, which is the groundwater, and they also said deep soils. It's mainly groundwater. It's waiting public comment. It was released on April 28th. And it was going to be, the comment period was until May 28, but the CEQA documents have not been released until today. They were supposed to have been released 2 weeks ago. They told us that they were being kicked back and forth between agencies. And so due to the delay of the CEQA documents, they've extended the comment period until June 30. So let's see here. If you want to look at this wrap, you go to EnviroStore. Got your clicker here, Al, or you got it? I don't know if you put it up there or not. Oh, there's. You don't have that on there? Anyway, it's envirostore.dtsc.ca.gov/public/community. And if you go to just Google DTSC, you can work your way through and get a copy of the remedial action plan. There was a public hearing held at City Hall on May 15th. And like I said, the CEQA documents weren't available at the time. So DTSC has extended the comment period until June 30. The board of the CAG met with DTSC before the public hearing, and let's see, and we suggested that the comment period be extended, which they agreed to. The CEQA documents were supposed to have been received, or they did receive the documents last Thursday. They were waiting for DTSC to go through them. They're going to be posted on EnviroStar. I talked to Jose Diaz this afternoon. He says that the CEQA documents it's posted now on EnviroStar, which is on the DTSC website. The CAG has asked for another public hearing because of the CEQA document delay. We also commented that with the outflow, there's going to be a treatment facility, and it's at the, well, that tells me, I mean, it's hard to see that. It's really hard. That's going to be the treatment facility. It's going to be at the northwest or northeast corner of the property. It's going to be next to Soledad Canyon Road, and you can see where they put a Metrolink train in behind so you can tell where the railroad track is. They said that this picture just shows what the treatment facility is going to look like. It's going to be shielded from the road with screening or shrubs or trees or whatever they're talking about. They just wanted to put this concept picture in so that you would see what the plant was going to be. The water treatment plant is going to be a ion exchange, and it's also going to treat VOCs. The water will then be released into the river through a culvert neck on the property that will be released into the river. The CAG said that they better be careful not to create a wetlands or a environmental habitat, because if they create one from all this outflow, that they'll have to keep it up forever. So they've told us, DTSC says that they're going to use the water that comes out of the treatment plant back on the property. They're going to need more than that amount of water that's treating the soils. And so DTSC told us that they were going to use the water on the property, so most of it would not be going into the river. But then I talked to the Whitaker people, and they said they're not going to use any of the water out of the treatment plant because it's too expensive to get it back up on top of the property from down below. So one says one thing, one says the other. We're going to have to wait and see how that goes. What their plan on this, the plan is to pump and treat the water off of the property. This new treatment plant is going to be built on the northeast portion next to Soledad Canyon. What's going to happen is there's going to be, I think it was 9, if there's probably more than that, wells on the property. They're going to be pumped up to the top. They're going to put a storage tank up on top of the ridge line, which water is going to be pumped up there from all parts of the property, and then it's going to be gravity fed down to the treatment plant. And then, like I say, it's going to be discharged into the water. There's 3 kinds of groundwater on the Bermite property. There's the water in the northern alluvium, which is actually this area that's on this picture. It's also the Metrolink station and that area. And normally the water table averages around 20 feet deep. It says, but right now, with the drought, they've had to go down past 80 feet, and they still can't hardly find water at 80 feet deep. So they're not pumping very much water out. There's a treatment plant there now that's been pumping out of the northern alluvium, and it's just a small treatment plant. And the small treatment plant has been permitted to pump up to 100 gallons per minute out into the river, but they're not even they're not pumping anywhere near that. But this new plant that's pictured here will be permitted to pump 600 gallons per minute and treat 600 gallons per minute of the water that comes off of the property. That's like 1 million gallons a day that they're going to pump, they say, into the river. Like Al said, you would think that maybe the city would be thinking of something of somehow to recycle this water. The water's going to be it's going to be cleaned of chlorate and the VOCs, and they say the water really has no chloride in it, so there's not a problem with the chloride going into the river. So, you know, to help our 100 whatever it is that we have to do. So they've got the permits to pump it into the river, but that water I think, could be used in any kind of irrigation anywhere around. I mean, with all our medians and everything else. And I wouldn't see really a problem trying to figure out a recycle program out of that. And it's going to be pumping for quite a while. The second form of groundwater is the Saugus Aquifer, and that's on the south side of the San Gabriel Fault. And the water table there is about 250 feet deep. And most of the groundwater, which from the Saugus Aquifer, flows towards the west, and that's where the perchlorate contamination has moved off the Bermite property, contaminated the Saugus 1 and 2 wells, and also the Valencia 201 and 205 wells. Lately, VOCs have been detected in those wells, and there's an investigation going on to find the origin of the VOCs. Right now, DTSC and they do not believe that the VOCs are coming off of the Whitaker Bermite property, but there is an investigation, and CLWA has somebody working on trying to figure out where that's coming from, because wherever the VOCs are coming from, I'm sure they'll be paying for when they figure it out. The third type of water in the plan is perched water. And the perched water is water on the property that's sitting on a rock bed deep down underneath. It's very contaminated water, but the water won't go any deeper than where it's at because it's on impervious rock forms. And what how they're going to treat those is they're going to treat them with bioremediation. They're going to put bugs and things down down into the water and let the bugs eat up all the perchlorate and all that kind of stuff. As soon as all that's gone, then the bugs die. So that's how they want to treat the perched water. But those are the three types of water on the property, like I say. And the treatment plan is projected to start in 2015. They're going to put a whole big system of pumps and underground piping to get it to the treatment plant. And I asked them about the underground piping, and they said it's expensive, but it's cheaper than putting it above ground because of deterioration due to weather and climate and all that. They're going to put it around the areas that they're going to be grading and removing soil and treating all the soil. So that they're going to design the direction of the pipes so that it goes around all that, so that it'll be there basically permanent. Last Friday, we were fortunate to be able to tour the property. About 8 or 10 of us were able to go up there, and Husana Amini, who's the head engineer for, I think it's AMEC Corporation, who represents Whitaker, took us around on the property, and he showed us different areas. We viewed the areas of the hula bowls, which are the dumps, and which were covered over, and he informed us how they were going to clean up most of these areas, and going to have to dig out a lot of what's been buried there. Then we took us over and showed us one of the brand new soil vapor extraction units, where they're pulling the VOCs out of the ground. And this big unit was running. It was quite impressive. And they're supposed to put 9 more units up there. They've finally gotten the approval from Edison on a design for a grid system, which because when Whitaker pulled out in '87, they pulled all the power off of the property. So they had to get Edison they had to design a new electrical system up there, and they had to get Edison to okay it. So now they're working on getting a contractor to put in the electrical back in so that they can run more of these soil vapor extraction units. There's supposed to be 9 of them on the property. The VOCs, the volatile organic compounds, are mostly TCE, which is trichloride ethylene, and PCE, which is tetrachloride ethylene. And both of those are carcinogens, which can create cancer. And that's what they're also testing the wells for, and trying to find out the location if any of this is coming off the property. That's to be determined still. Anyway, while we were on the tour, we also traversed the property clear over to Golden Valley Road and looked around on OU1, which is the area that's been cleaned up. It was completed in 2009, but that's where they have some of the treatment pads where they're going to clean up the dirt. And so OU1 has been cleaned up, but it hasn't been certified clean yet because they're waiting until after they use these pads to clean up the rest of the area, and then it'll all be certified by 2016. But now they're pushing it to 2017 that's supposed to be done. We also were shown where the San Gabriel Fault was, and you can see where there's a distinct line. You can see because there's a earth cut on OU1, and you can see exactly where there was certain kind of dirt on one side, and all of a sudden that dirt just ended, and then there was a different kind of dirt on the other side. So we were able to see distinctly where the San Gabriel Fault was, and that is basically the borderline between the northern alluvium and the Saugus Formation. So anyway, right now with this remedial action plan, in the back I have a few. I have the community notice that they sent out. There's a couple of those back there if anybody would like one. I've got some frequently asked questions about the Whitaker Bermite site, which are back there. And then also, I've got some of the comment forms if you want to make a comment on the remedial action plan. Anyway, they're on the back. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. And we'll keep pushing to see about getting this done. Yes, Lynn.
It's actually not a question, but I wanted to thank you for your really excellent presentation. But I also wanted, it's okay to just say that if you are filling out those forms, and I hope everyone will, to please ask him for another public hearing on the environmental documents. And then also, this pollution in the Saugus Aquifer is a really major issue for our valley. This was supposed to be our backup water source. And what's happening is the pumping that they're doing on the west side in those wells, you heard Rick say what Saugus Well 1 and 2, those are westerly of the property. Saugus Well 201 is by City Hall. I mean, this is kind of jarring to us, which is why I was listening to your thing, Rick, and I realized people probably don't know where those wells are. And well 205 is way over by the train station by Valencia Boulevard and McBean. So you can see the pollution has now gone way off the property. This is what they should have done in the first place, put these burial wells in, and they didn't do it. And so because water districts were going to keep pumping the water, they wanted water supply for all the development that's gone on here in the last 10 years. So they continue to pump, and the plume is spreading all the way through the west. Okay, well, supposedly they're going to pay for it, but they're paid for a limited amount that they're going to pay. And if it goes over that, again, the public is going to start picking up the costs for this irresponsible activity. So the other thing that I would really encourage you to ask, besides another public hearing for the super document that was not out on time, is there is a report that they have hired CH2M Hill to do to investigate the spread of pollution plume. But they won't release it. And they're worried that they don't want to release it because it's going to show that, it's probably going to show that plume, obviously, when you pump more and what it's pulling plume in a westerly direction. It's pulling these TCPs and PCPs, which are carcinogens. It's pulling the ammonium perchlorate, which causes retardation in small children. And they're just going in and pumping. So they did turn off those 2 wells, but they won't release this report. And they should not be finishing this wrap without that other report that they're hiding being released. And I'm hoping that Canyon Advisory will write a letter to that effect that they should release that report and get it out to the public so the public knows what's going on in this valley. And I hope that you all demand it as well. Thank you. Sorry to do that. I hope you're not mad at me.
Judy?
What's across the street from the treatment plant?
Well, from the treatment plant, it's just down from via Metro. Via Metro. Via Metro, actually, what they told us the other day is Via Metro wants to buy a portion of the property so that they can put their Paseo Bridge over Soledad and then have a walkway over to the train station. But right now, they're not allowed to do that because none of the property is allowed to be sold or developed until the cleanup's done. Anything else? Ed?
Yeah, I have a comment pertaining to the output of the plant. If they were willing to put a pipeline in the trail from Bermite just to Hungary, almost straight across from Home Depot, there is a 4-pump station there in Hungary that was New Home County Water Districts, and it pumps into a 14-inch line and solves that all the way out to almost San Canyon.
Wow.
So all along there, they could tap into doing landscaping of the medians, they could do Canyon Country Park. It would be very beneficial. And And that pipe is not being used now. It is owned by the CLWA that acquired it under some shady circumstances, but it's not being used. There's 4 pumps right there in Hungary, and pipeline is about 14-inch, I believe, and it used to carry 450 psi, so it's a good pipe. So you might look into
I definitely tend to hope to bring it up at the multi-jurisdictional. I'll ask them for sure there about the city, about if they've got any plans and what. But I think they should be using this water for recycled water. They shouldn't just be dumping it into the river. It's going to be clean, so it can be used for any kind of agriculture. All right. Thank you.